Yes.
Yes.
Pedophile.
Yeah.
Pedophile.
Pedophile.
Ya,
Yeah.
aku ada baca. Udah sehari lepas kot. Macam mana tu?
Yes, I have heard about pedophile.
I have heard about the word pedophile before in English.
Yes, I have.
I don't know what is pedophile. Okay.
A person who has a strong desire to have children.
A man become sexually aroused when he or she sees a little kid.
Pedophile is interest with children but sexually.
Pedofilia satu penyakit yang tertarik kepada budak kecil sehingga membawa kepada seks. Kan? Itu je lah yang saya baca.
As I know, pedophile is a person who is sexually attracted to children, mostly below 13 years old.
I don't know what is pedophile. Okay.
Yes, I do have a little sister.
Yes, I have. Yes,
Yes, I have a little sister.
yes, I do have a little sister.
Saya ada dua adik lelaki, dua adik perempuan. Okay.
Yes, I would like to.
Yeah.
Because they are so, cute.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
No.
For your information, I don't have any camera or smartphone, so I cannot take their pictures.
It depends. Because nowadays children below 13 years old have Instagram and pictures everywhere. But to be honest, no, to ensure their safety, they should not.
Yeah.
For me, it is quite dangerous
Dangerous.
for them to upload their picture
Oh.
on social media.
In my opinion, I think it is unsafe to upload the pictures on social media. It is because in this modern world, when we upload something on internet, that means we are sharing it with the whole world, right? So that means anyone or anybody can see that photos, including a pedophile. Maybe because of that will make the pedophile become more aggressive.
Sebenarnya okey je kot. Selama ni adik aku kan tak taruh gambar, biasa je.
Boleh je nak upload. Hati-hati.
You just upload their photo, don't upload their personal information. If they really want, they really need to post their pictures, they're really eager to post their pictures, it is better to private their Insta.
I think it is actually safe to upload children photos in social media, but it has become the parents' duty to ensure the child's safety.
Kepada semua yang nak upload gambar-gambar comel tu, berhati-hatilah dengan keadaan dunia sekarang ni kan. Kalau tak macam kita tengoklah yang seperti viral sekarang ni. Siapa nama tu?
Yang mana?
Yang viral tu.
Yang mana?
Si Fulan tu lah. Ya. Jadi berhati-hati sebelum upload gambar. Anda mampu mengubahnya.
Maybe you should get help from psychiatrists or get help from families and friends.
My grandmother told me to be careful around him. I didn't understand what she was saying until he started coming to the house. I met him in a church. He started talking to my mother there. And then he started coming to the house to talk to her. That's what I remember. He took videos of me naked, and I told him I wanted to go home to my mom. I was scared and couldn't do anything. I got scared every time he took me out. He started taking photos of me from the time I was 3 years old. He showed me photos of myself and then photos of my sister, and I got angry. They were photos that showed our nude bodies, that kind of photos.
How do you feel about him now?
I don't want him to come back to Malaysia. I want him in prison forever.
Happy times, and perhaps the last together for the Huckle family. Soon after this photograph was taken, Richard Huckle returned to Southeast Asia, back to his extraordinary secret life of child sex abuse. On another visit home, he was arrested, and the vast scale of his crimes began to emerge. Huckle began posting hundreds of pictures on the internet, mostly of children. None of these is a victim. A fellow poster was suspicious and wrote this of him.
After reading your posts, I think you're weird. You like Asians, especially children, seem to have an obsession about them, looking for churches, wanting to come to Asia and so forth. How does one tell a normal person from a weirdo? Maybe their writings give them away.
Huckle responded,
OK, I admit that I'm not the most normal of people, but I think the comments you're making are a little extreme. I didn't particularly have a decent social life in my teenagehood, mainly as my school and my friends lived 20 miles away, and going to an all-boys school didn't help matters either.
Richard Huckle spent a gap year in the Malaysian capital, Kuala Lumpur. He worked in an orphanage. He was also placed as a Sunday school teacher at a community church. We can't name it. He wrote on his blog,
After my second week of teaching there, I became passionately fond of community culture and became very involved with the church and its members.
Richard Huckle used a Malaysian website to promote himself as a private tutor. He made much of the teaching certificate he got after a 2-month course with the British Council. I followed his trail to the offices of the Council, which promotes British business and education abroad. Here he took and passed a short CELTA course, a certificate in English language teaching to adults. He appeared in a promotional video. His teaching certificate helped give him access to his target community and its children. We have reviewed our involvement of Richard Huckle with the British Council, and apart from his participation in the CELTA course, we have no records to indicate that he was ever engaged as a teacher in Malaysia with us, either for adult students or children. We have no plans to review our interaction with graduates of our English teaching courses. We have a clearly defined process for people who enrol on our CELTA courses. Responsibility for any pre-employment screening, as well as monitoring their performance at work, are the responsibility of the eventual employer. As a cover, he posted many innocent photographs of his victims on the legitimate internet. But on the encrypted websites of the dark web, he also filmed and photographed himself abusing them and shared the images with other paedophiles. In a post he wrote about one victim,
I'd hit the jackpot. A 3-year-old girl as loyal to me as my dog, and nobody seemed to care.
He was caught when Australian police stumbled across his online activities during an investigation into other suspects. Huckle was arrested at Gatwick Airport when he flew home for Christmas 2014. At the National Crime Agency, investigators discovered 20,000 indecent photographs and videos he'd taken of his young victims. And they discovered his encrypted commentary on images he shared with fellow paedophiles. Huckle wrote of one victim,
I was going to lure him into the bedroom and have sex with him, but I think he noticed the trap and fled. I'll get him next time.
In prison, he sent his best friend a voice message.
This is Richard. Just to let you know, I'm still remanded in prison, but I've been transferred to HMP Belmarsh now. My prison number is... just to wish you Merry Christmas, and if you still want to keep in touch, then just send me a letter sometime.
The list of charges to which Huckle eventually pleaded guilty ran to 5 pages. It was oddly colour-coded. The document was heavily redacted, like no other before it. It hid locations and the dates of his crimes. His victims' names were removed, replaced with letters. But there was no disguising the severity of what Richard Huckle did. Some victims he abused over several years. The youngest was 6 months old, the eldest 12. There were girls and boys. Some crimes were multiplied many times. More than half carried a maximum life sentence. He'd even written a guide to help fellow paedophiles avoid exposure. But what of Richard Huckle's family? How had they reacted? It appears his parents sold up and moved away as soon as they could. His elder brother did not want to discuss him. Huckle's sister-in-law told me,
"None of his family will speak about him. None of us ever want to see Richard again."
Richard Huckle wasn't an opportunist sex attacker. He was a predator who targeted and groomed his victims and abused them systematically over many years. The judge said his crimes were of the utmost gravity, and he warned him to expect to go to prison for life.